order.
Oh, I like the new fonts on there. Hey,
Are we live?
we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Stitch Brothers.
Minus one brother and one Bernina
Yeah.
Barb.
Yeah. Every week it's a new cast.
I just
here.
got roped into it, so
Yep.
here we are.
We needed some assistance. So we got a lot of fun stuff for you guys this week. We'll wait here and see if we got some people jumping on yet, because it looks like we don't got anybody on yet. So let's wait a second.
I got to come on and maybe show them something that nobody knows, and then maybe they'll watch you.
Oh, we got somebody on there.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. So everybody who's in the chat now, we always like to remind people that we love comments and we love questions. So this is interactive. So it's not just us talking
Right
to ourselves. We love it when
and we pick prizes, don't you?
Yes. We do we have the prizes this week?
Yeah, we'll find
Okay,
some.
We'll find something good. So this week we have some really great things. We're going to go over some announcements, and then my mom here's got some announcements as well. We have some BO8 updates, which are really, really great. I think everyone's going to be super excited. And then we have a special guest that's going to come on and talk a little bit about her experience. Before we came up here, we were doing a little bit of 790 Pro training with Bonnie here, who is the newest member of our Bernina family. And I always like to tease and see if they're brave enough to come on the live, and she said she would. So we'll see, unless she's looking at me like this. We'll see. So people get nervous.
Will. I told her it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun, right?
After you start talking, and you forget about that
easy.
you're there.
It's
like
fun.
Everybody's nervous about that camera.
Just act natural.
They don't know where to look. I said, who cares? Just talk to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bonnie and her friends here, she had just bought a 790. So she's going through what we like to call our orientation, which is what I like to give people as soon as possible. So when they open their box at home, with their brand new machine, we want to make sure that the first experience is a positive one.
Right.
Because what can happen is you don't want frustration, and your first experience with your brand new machine, which they're not cheap, right? No. You want that to be a positive experience.
Very high end.
So what we like to do is we like to do
the Ferrari of sewing machines.
Yeah. Well, the 990 is.
Well, you know what I mean.
Bonnie's friend's got a 990. If she's watching, hopefully she's watching. I heard she's loving her machine. So we got our announcements. We got a couple updates. We're going to do a quilt show this week, which I think is great. And then I have a bowl update as well. So we got, they finally came in. I think we got about 24 of them. Most of them, I believe, are spoken for. And the rest of them, I'm going to give to Jess for comments sold, because we think that'll be the place to sell them. But we want to make sure the Stitch Brothers people get first crack at them before because they're going to get snatched up. All right, so let's do announcements. Do you want to start? Do you have any announcements? Do you want me to go through my announcements?
Go to do yours first.
Okay. Barb, who can't be with us this morning, gave me a list of things she wanted me to talk about to remind everybody. And the first one is the October coat class.
Yay!
On October 7th and 8th.
I should be modeling it right now.
Oh, you have it?
That's downstairs.
Oh, yep. So there's the flyer. And she wanted me to let you guys know.
It's cold weather. It's getting there.
She wanted to have me remind you that we actually have 2 openings. So if you are a last minute person and want to jump in on that, you should do that. That's going to be really, really great. Those classes have been booked out quite a bit. So 2 openings. The next class is the machine applique with Valdani. There we go. And that's going to be October 9th.
Ooh.
This is awesome. And I'm actually going to recommend Bonnie, if she can make it, come to that class. And this is one of the classes that Bernina Barb first started with.
Yep.
And that is, well, that's going to be what this is going to be used for.
Yeah, that'll
be. One of the things that she had figured out, which we love, because at Primitive Gatherings, we love our 12-08 Valdani, and we love our hand wool applique work. But for some people, that's just not
in the cards anymore.
Yeah. Whether you have arthritis or maybe you just don't
or some people don't think they're going to live long enough to make all the projects they have.
I hear all sorts of dark things sometimes, right? Some people.
Right. So this would be a good way to speed it up a little bit. And some people just don't like hand stitching. So if you definitely love machine stitching, this is a way to do a blanket stitch with the pearl cotton through the Bernina machine.
And especially, we find ways to make use of that 9mm capability, where for a lot of people like you, I mean, before you even really got into this, you're like, oh, I don't need a zigzag. You don't need, well, if you're going to do, you know, maybe your once a year project, you want to do that by hand, but sometimes you got a pillow, an applique pillow you want done.
Yeah. Or big shapes. Sometimes like if you have a big moon or a big whatever, it's just easy to zip around it on a machine, especially if it's going to look the same. If people can't tell if you did it by hand or machine, then do it by machine and get it done.
Yep. And with the 790 Pro with that laser and how it basically gives your needle position just a half heartbeat.
It's going to tell you where that needle is going to go down.
We are going to show the capabilities of the Berninas with the Valdani thread. So show you how to do the tension, how to do the setup, the needle. There's some different things. That will be, again, October 9th. That's going to be a great class. Next, we have October 24th, Embroidery 102. And it says all welcome. So don't be scared out there. Okay. All right, Bonnie, don't be scared.
Yes, Bonnie, this is a class for you. So you get used to that embroidery module and you know how to run it, and it's no big deal. Yeah,
so Barb did embroidery 101 and now we have 102, and that's been something that has been really great for us. And this is going to be a sort of revolving thing. So it's a great opportunity for people to understand how to make the most of their embroidery modules. You spent all that money on the machine. You got to learn how to use it. Okay. Moving on, we have, November 11th is the next Bernina Social. So that's our club. Everybody is welcome. Even if you don't have a Bernina, you can come to it and I will sell you one. And then you can be a part of the club.
And we have used machines too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we have a ton of stuff. We'll talk. Barb's got a note for me to actually talk about the trade-in month and the trade-in machines here in a bit. But yeah, so we have everything you could want from Bernina. We have it in stock, and you are welcome to come try it out, see the club. And that's where people really get, they really get familiar with their machines. You can sign up for Embroidery 101 and Embroidery 102, and those are great. But what you really need to do is come to these clubs. You get to sew all day long. You
get to hang out with people who have machines and know how to use them and know the little tricks.
And instead of like when you're at home and you run into a roadblock, instead of getting frustrated and having to turn the machine off or go on Facebook groups and
Google how to do it. Yeah.
You have a bunch of people in there who are more than willing to help. It's a great way to really learn your machine, because at the end of the day, it's just time. You need to put in your time, just like anything, before you get to where you want to be. Okay. All right. Oh, this is exciting here. I love the name I came up with Fast. Oh, did she?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious and Thick and Thin. I love it. Okay. The next event here, November 18th, BO8. Fast and Furious, Thick and Thin. And this class is going to be a go, because as we'll talk about in a little bit, those BO8s are going to start getting shipped out today. So I will be going in order. I will talk about that in a second. But this class, I'm super duper excited. I don't know did you have a flyer for that one yet? No flyer for that one yet. Probably didn't have it because we weren't sure with waiting on everything. But this is going to be amazing. And because I know how many people are going to have this machine because of how many we sold, this is going to be, and I imagine the Thick and Thin, she's going to maybe do some bag stuff as well with it.
Just to show how many layers it can go through.
But we wanted to do a 9-patch class based off of the technique that you had in your 9-patch gathering book from back in the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to really show off the power of the new BO8 straight stitch machine. And it looks like, I like how so the class is called Fast and Furious, Thick and Thin. And I imagine she's going to show off a little bit of that industrial capability that machine has. So that is super duper exciting. We'll have the flyer coming up shortly, because I think that until we had the machines, we weren't 100% sure. Right. So,
yeah.
But that should be a go for sure. And hopefully all of you who are going to be local with your BO8s will come. All right. And then the last one that we're going to talk about here is the December 2nd Bernina Social. Again, this is the same thing that we had just talked about. It's our club. We have it monthly.
And that's the second. Yep. Those are all the dates through the end of the year, it looks like.
And then we'll come up with the next schedule. I can't believe it's just wild. End of the year already. We're looking.
You're getting old. Life goes fast once you reach a certain age.
Yeah, that is for sure. All right. Do we have any questions here before I keep rambling on? Give me a break here.
All right. What do we got? Yes, that's on my list.
What is that?
So the quilt behind us is Moda Blockheads 2. So, and the reason why we put it up is because of the quilting design on it, because that's what we're all about here today is quilting. So this has a real beautiful orange peel on it. But if you love these blocks, you can go to modafabrics.com and search Blockheads 2, and this is Blockheads 2. So this is my quilt done kind of in a lake house colorway. All right, and then we're just showing off, especially how the overalls can go right over the appliques. So do you see a little bird in the basket? That's actually wool. So it's wool applique on there, and that quilting just went right over the top of it.
And that's cotton. We didn't use the invisible.
Yeah, so this is, it's cotton thread, and it goes right over and smooshes right in there. So very fun. It's like a light gray thread on there.
Or fill 50 weight before someone asks.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? I saw a couple actually questions here.
There's one there that says, do we still have... What? Oh, you got one of those? Sorry, yeah. All right, we'll do that one next time.
Does the B08 have a hover feature for chain piecing like the Berninas have? No, it does not.
You don't need it.
It does not. You do need it.
No, you don't. It just keeps going.
So the hover feature is great, which allows you to keep the needle down, and we will be going over this.
Keep the needle down. I thought it hovers and it raises and lowers by itself.
So the needle stays down in that presser
Not for
foot.
not for.
The presser foot comes up just a little bit, allowing you to put your next piece right up to the needle.
Okay.
So the B08 does not have that. However, the B08 does have the hands-free knee lift. So essentially with the,
this.
Yep. So with the presser foot, with the needle down, you can just kind of put a little slight pressure on that and slip that next block. That thing is just like a chainsaw though. I mean, you just feed it.
Yeah.
You just feed it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're the hover.
It
you
does
just
not,
hover.
but I think you'll be just fine. What else? Keep going. Okay. Hi from Chicago. Do you quilt a quilt with embellished stones on it? So we try not to like. So we've had this where people have buttons and beads and all sorts of stuff. We can't. There's some things we can't do, and that is anything plastic. You know, that is now. Don't get me wrong. I've done things before. Like the denim quilt had the button on it.
Yeah.
And what I basically had to do was monitor that machine and just basically let the machine do a jump stitch over by turning sewing off on my Q24, let it just go over it, turn sewing back on, and then just deal with those tags. So you can do it. But like if it's full of beads and buttons and stuff like that, it's going to be a nightmare.
Usually you do that after.
Yes. Make sure they do that after, or some people will, I ask them to take them off and then they have to put them back on. So to avoid a lot of work, if they're going to do, if it's not custom and it's going to be edge to edge, you know, that being said, like, you know, a lot of the handwork stuff, you know, with the colonial knots and the things like that, we have gone over, and sometimes you just have to go and fluff those back up a little bit. So, all right, what else we got?
This is a good one.
Pam.
Couching foot to do the Santa panel. I'm sure you could. I'm not going to do it because I love to hand stitch that. But so what she wants to do is, you know, the Santa panel. I would probably use a little bit thicker thread though, Pam, because you're going to couch over it. When I'm doing it, I'm kind of bringing it back on itself, so it's making a thicker thread because it's kind of doubling up. But if you're just going to couch over the top of it, I'm sure you can do it. It's just going to be really putsy. And
I think you'd have to, I don't know if you would couch with that Bernina. I think
you'd have to cut and, you know. Like,
well, for couching though, I think you'd have to use like the chenille yarn or whatever.
Yeah.
The thicker stuff for couching. That being said, Pam, you have a Q24. I know that.
Do it on that.
What I would do is, instead of like what you're able to do is, if you could get a digitized, like what we use is the big snowflakes, let the robot do that and then just feed.
But not as thick as chenille yarn is what you use for those snowflakes. Just maybe a little thinner
I
one.
forget the name of what she said that was. I I haven't done a ton of couching. Honestly, we had a lady who helped us at the Madison Quilt Show. Her name was Athena with Bernina. And she actually had some projects that really piqued my interest with that. That made it really cool. It almost looked like rug hooking. She did this amazing stuff with I don't know if it would work with the Valdani like that. I mean, what you could do instead of couching is just run the Valdani through because Pam, you got a 9 or a 7 series. You could potentially run the 12 weight like a decorative stitch and
or
then
5 weight.
Yeah,
thicker.
and then go through. You could definitely get creative with that.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that in a second, Carrie. We have the quilt maker box in here, and well, let me save it. Let me save that for my last little BO8 update. We'll talk about the option of that. Okay, what else? Anything else?
I don't know which quilt she's talking about.
Yeah, let's
click it on. Let's see if we figure it out.
What would you consider a beginner or more experienced level quilt?
If we're talking about the one behind us, yeah.
That's a you question.
I would say, to me, it's not that tiny, and it's not, I would say a beginner could do it.
Remember that 45 in Life quilt, or like that? What was that other beginner one that really?
45 in Life is not a beginner.
No, I'm thinking then maybe it's not the right. What was the one that Jess did a bunch of times, and it was a very easy.
Those are
like the primitive picnic quilt.
Those are like the Doug Lico quilts. The Fall Impressions.
Yeah,
those are more. This is nice because you're just doing one block at a time. So you're going to cut out everything for one block. You're going to do one block, and some of them you're going to be doing multiples. So like you're doing this 4 times. But if you're a beginner, just make sure that you just kind of hang out, and we do go back and watch some of those YouTube videos that we have on starching and piecing and stuff like that, or do something like Scandinavian Christmas where we do a tutorial every week on how to do the block. That's a good way to learn. But I would definitely say, maybe advanced beginner, but to me, as long as you know how to cut accurately, you got a good 1/4 inch seam allowance, you should be able to do this. I don't, even if right out from the gate, just do the bigger ones first. Like you'd be doing this big block first and this one first. And then I think you could easily do some of those.
Yeah. He's doing great.
I saw him yesterday. When did I go? Sunday.
Yeah, he's
I do have some grandma pictures.
He just got weighed yesterday again.
Yeah.
And he was 20 pounds, 10 ounces.
He's a sturdy fellow.
Yeah, he's going to be 6 months here coming up.
Yeah, like
there's some great comments
his legs are like this big.
Hey, Troy.
His legs are like that big.
Well, so
next shipment, we got them all.
But yeah, they're so right now we have them all, and they're all sold. I think there might be 1 or 2 that.
So I might get one right away.
You have 2.
No, I don't. I have 1. One.
You have 2 of them.
I don't have 1 at home.
Okay. Well, then we don't have any available. No.
No, you can have it. I can wait.
So we have. We don't know exactly. So Bernina was very, very. Let's just go into the BO8 thing because we had Carrie and Troy. So let's talk about the BO8. So we sold a ton of these things, and Bernina really did us a solid, and we have all of them in the warehouse right now. And finally, we got the Quilt Maker presser foot. We have 65 of these. Now, here is the rub. Okay, so most people wanted the quilt making set. That's the one that they had sent, and this is the one that I believe has the 1/4 inch foot. Here, you want to pop that open? Yep. That one has the 1/4 inch foot, so that's the one that most people are going to want. We are going to start shipping these out today. Now, I have to talk to everybody who requested the DIY sewing kit, because for some reason that kit is 2 weeks out yet, but I want to start sending these things out. So what we're going to do is either you can agree and we can and ship it out, or you can change your mind. Yeah. So this has got the 1/4-inch foot here.
It's amazing.
That
just got to hold it still.
Oh, sorry. So this is the one most people want, and this is the one we're going to get. Sending out right now. I'm going to give the option because I got 65 of them. So everyone is going to have the option if they've got the other one to switch. And then as soon as the other ones, because I have 65 of the DIY sewing ones coming in, and I don't know why, but I don't want to hold on these things for another 2 weeks because of this. So I want to get these heading out the door. And if you want to change, you can still get the other one and we'll mail the second one to you. I have the extra thread cutter pedal in stock that we'll be sending those out. But the walking feet and the DIY sewing kit is foot kit has not arrived yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to send these out. We're going to take orders. They shouldn't be too far behind, but I know people are getting antsy and I don't want to.
They want to sew on it. I don't blame them.
Yeah. And I don't want to hold off anymore. So we're going to get these going out. But
this is different than what I'm used to, and I like it because it moves.
Listen, so this thing right here,
moves.
I was demoing with this foot, and that guide will turn the fabric. I was like, no hands, letting that thing feed, and
the guide moves up and down like on a hinge. It's not stationary like my old one was.
That fabric was a long strip, and it was literally with no hands. It was coming and running into that guide and just zipping right up. And it was the easiest 1/4-inch seam that I've ever, and I'm not like a piecer. Like I don't have a,
no, I'm a piecer. I can tell you that's good.
Yeah. It made it really, really, really easy.
Because if they don't move, they kind of go like this after a while. They splay out. Well, this is not going to do it because it's going to move up.
So
can Barbara pick it up at?
Yes. Yep.
Hey,
so
Barb.
all the local people, hopefully everyone doesn't show up at once. So I'm going to be calling in the order, but it shouldn't take us long to get through it all. And the people that we can set it aside and we'll have a pickup area for those. But I want to go ahead and start getting this ball rolling on this because I wanted to wait until we get all the accessories, but it's looking like it's just, so the positive is everyone who pre-ordered the machine, we have it. And everyone who had the quilt maker kit, we got them here. And we're going to work with the people who selected the other one, whether or not they want to buy this one or they can just use the standard foot for now. It's not like you won't have a presser foot, but I want to get you your machine. We don't want to hold off any longer. So that is the BO8 update. Okay. What else do we have? Do we have any other questions? We got to get these people going on training here.
Yeah. No.
Anything else?
Let's bring them in.
No.
Let's talk to them.
All right. You ready, Bonnie? Come on in. Here.
Come on, Bonnie.
And just hold this right here.
Yep.
You can go right.
Come on in this way.
Yep. Here. I'll make room for you. See, isn't this fun? What do you think?
Here, just hold on to that. That's your microphone. We won't even make you wear it. Just hang on to it so they can.
So this is Bonnie, and Bonnie, like we had said before, is taking our 790 orientation class. So why don't you guys do a little interview here, Mom, and see. Here, let's get our microphones on.
No, I got mine on. Yep, we're good.
Talk about your experience a little bit.
All right. So tell me where you're from
Doylestown, Wisconsin.
and how far away is that?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. And do you have a local dealer?
Not that I know
Not
of.
that you know of. Okay. Because,
How
it's
far away is that?
about an hour and a half, she said.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I came here for the shop hop that we were
Oh,
on, and
okay.
I've come back a couple times.
All right. And you like it here?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Everybody's just really friendly, and you feel
Sit up there.
comfortable in
Good,
the store.
yes.
So
Well, and that's what we want. So like that's the reason why I built this place is because I want people to, one, feel like they belong here and that I built this place for them.
yeah,
Right. And that's my goal. I mean, I want you to feel like this is your hangout. And so whether you're into machines or wool or whatever, clubs, socializing, I wanted that to be
yeah,
very present.
yeah. It seems like it is. Luke's really good. Any questions I had, he helped me. And
Okay. So you're getting your training on your machine today?
Yes.
And do you have it yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I left it.
And
set
what do
there.
you mainly want to do with it?
I want to be able to quilt my own quilts.
Okay.
And I've never done that, and
Right.
I haven't done a lot of quilting. So
Okay. And then you're gonna quilt in the hoop, right? Is that basically what that's gonna happen?
I think so.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's two ways to do it. You can computerize quilt in the hoop, like, and just keep moving it.
Yeah.
And it has, I've seen it done. Or you just run the quilt through your machine, and you're gonna be doing that, which both ways would work. But you're gonna be like following a line or doing that yourself. So
Till I
either
can-
way,
Yeah,
you
till I
got the
can learn more.
capability. Yes, yes. And then those embroidery classes, probably. Do you do any embroidery yet?
I do it all by hand.
Oh, okay. And just so you know, like, the embroidery module will do the quilting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't realize that you can sandwich it and it'll do a quilting. So right there in the hoop, and you just got to move that hoop over.
Yeah, the 790 Pro uses the same long arm files, the BQM files, as the Q24
And that's what you got, right? Did you get the 790?
Pro.
Yes.
Yep.
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 790
Luke
Pro.
talked me into that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, I think probably when he did that, it was probably and that's the machine I have at my house when I need to do other than straight stitch. That's what, so I'll probably be in one of those classes with you on how to run that embroidery unit and, monogram towels or whatever that looks like. But cool. So then, do you feel comfortable like asking anybody anything here?
Yes, because I watched a bunch of the videos, and then I didn't sew anything because Luke said I should wait. So I just watched a whole bunch of videos, tried putting the bobbin in and out, and so I could answer his questions.
Yeah. And you've met Barb, right? And she will help you too, I suppose.
Have you met Barb yet?
I don't.
Bernina Barb?
No.
I don't think so.
So how we do it here is I do the orientation, and like what she had said was I try to get people to have patience, because I really want to do that orientation class before they receive the machine, because I don't know how many times when, because it's a big process, right? And buying it can be stressful. You're spending a lot of money. And a lot of times the day that we buy the machine, you bought it, so you get to take it home. It's yours. But I try to tell people, listen, like, let's schedule this orientation class, because what I don't want is people to go home, and there's a lot to go over. And I feel like you feel like you're a lot more comfortable now already from the first, we did like about 40 minutes or so this morning. But we want the first experience, the first impression with your new machine to be a positive one.
Yeah, not all frustrated because you don't know. But I know what she's like. She's like, oh, I got like getting a brand new car and not being able to drive it, right?
I can't tell people that they can't. I can't tell people they can't take it home.
No, right?
They just spent a bunch of money. I can't say, but I'm like, listen, let's get you. Trust me on this. Like, and then with the long arms, it's almost like we don't even deliver it until after the training, because I just know. People are like, oh yeah, I won't touch it, and then I'll get a phone call. I think I broke it already. It's like people can't resist.
So one of the things that I wanted to do here at Primitive Gatherings is education. So because I've bought a machine and got home and not known how to run it, even after my class, because it was too far away so that's one of the things that I really want, like people can even stay overnight here and, until they feel comfortable with their machines, whether it's a long arm or whether it's a domestic machine, it's, you got these guys and they can help you.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like spending a bunch of money and not knowing how to run your machine.
Right.
Yes. So, So I'm glad that you're feel comfortable, and that's our main goal, is just to be inviting and make sure you're comfortable and not afraid to ask him any questions or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And I would probably sign up for some class.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're an hour and a half
Sign
away,
up
so
for
that
classes.
ain't easy, but that's
where
where you're going to learn. Even if you can come up for the day and hang out at one of the socials too, bring some projects and actually work. Because then if you get stuck, you'd be like, hey, what do I do here? Because if you're at home, then you got to stop. You got to call somebody. You got to search. But here, you just say, hey, do you know what to do here?
One of the important things too, like you'd mentioned doing the classes, is once you get these lessons, you really got to kind of commit, especially right away, to get to learning as much as you can, as fast as you can. Because what happens is is if you get this orientation class and then you don't sew for 2 months,
Right.
then you have to come back.
And it's a
Yeah.
thing. It's you really gotta want to, because
Yep.
like I'm stuck. I'm taking this like Adobe Illustrator class, and I get really good at it, and then I don't do it for like 2 or 3 months, and then I got to start over.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where you almost have to, at least do a half hour every other day, or just like put that in your schedule so you don't lose what you learn.
Right.
Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
We got a very active chat. I love it.
Good.
I saw one question on there. No, the B08 is not like a one-time thing. We will carry this model, I mean, as long as they make it, because we love it. So it is a brand new one. So we just had our initial order. I'm not sure if they're going to come with the free foot set in the future, or if that was part of the launch. But this is definitely something that we are going to be carrying into the future. So the question is how popular was it nationwide, and how hard will it be to get the next batch? But I mean, I already wish we would have ordered more, but I was worried that we wouldn't be getting them until Christmas anyway.
Well,
so.
it's just one of those things, you know what I mean? You have budgets, you can't just willy-nilly just buy whatever you want.
Right.
Bankers don't like that.
Yeah.
And accountants, right, Sue?
I have an older Bernina Activia 210. I need a walking foot. What do I order? I think that they changed the walk. I think that you need one of the older generation walking feet. I have a lot of trade-in machines where ladies are really nice, and when they trade in the older machines, they give us all the stuff. So I probably have a walking foot here for that one. I would have to talk to Jake. Bernina's been making machines for so long, it's hard to tell, at what generation did they change what thing, and what foot generation do you need, so send us an email or give us a call.
Should I get a new sewing machine or a new car? I need both.
Are you
going to stay home and sew, or do you want to go someplace?
This is what I would do. I would buy a Q24, take the training, start the business, and then buy the car with the money from
there. You go. Buy a business. Be a business owner.
There you go. That's what I would do.
Run your own hours.
That's a good answer.
One
right?
quilt a day. You could probably do 2 to 3 quilts a day if you were very motivated.
You could do it. Easily. You could do it. And there's, I mean, the expense of the Q24, they're around $35,000 or whatever, is what kind of the regular sale price is on those, somewhere in that neighborhood. But if you look at it, like if you had that piece of equipment and some knowledge that's all you need to start a business, especially if you're active in a guild or clubs or groups, and you have the friend group, or you have the people where you can get the quilts. I mean, it's really not, you should be able to pay for that thing in one day, even if you had financed the whole work. So you should be able to do that, especially in a weekend. So, okay, what else do we have? Me and Bonnie got to get back and train and get back to training.
Yes.
Yep.
I know that one.
Yep. So the bobbin in the B08 is it is a metal bobbin, because it's like a little industrial machine. So it's not as big as
it's like in between the normal bobbin and the big M. It's in between that.
The size actually is called 1.4L. So if a Juki is an L, the B08 is 1.4, meaning 40% bigger than like the Juki metal bobbin or the regular L size bobbin that most sewing machines use.
I like buy a machine that can travel with you in your new car.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
All right, let's get this rolling so we can get back to training. So I think that is it. We wanted to remind you guys that that September is trade-in month, so we do trade-in specials. We wanted to let you know that we have a ton of trade-ins, because a lot of people buy machines, they go from Bernina to Bernina. So a lot of times, it's a great way to get a good deal on. Oh, you get to do the prizes.
Yep. No, we'll each say one.
So trade-in month, and then also Super Saturday is coming up. I'm curious about what Super Saturday will be. Super Saturday is the one day a year that you can get 0% for 72 months normally. But I don't know if that will, I'm hoping that will be the case. It's been harder and harder to get the true 0%. So hopefully that's what it is. But that is usually the month where you can get the longest term financing. For those of you who are interested in that, who want to buy a Q24 or something, that's a great day to do it. That's one day, October 12th. If you're going to do that, get the financing stuff done ahead of time. How it works is we get codes to enter the sale through the portal, and it's not up to me to decide if September 13th I'm ready or October 13th. The code just doesn't work. So get all the pre-approvals done, and then we'll send that through, and you can get that. I'm assuming that's what that's going to be. We are restocked, so we have all machines available right now, and all we have left is just to show one quilt, and then we'll do the prizes.
Okay. Let's show the quilt first.
Let's show the quilt first. So Colleen wanted me to show this guy right here.
Okay.
Are you escaping?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Bonnie is escaping. So let's show off this beautiful quilt.
can I say whose it is? This is
Yeah.
Sharon's.
Yes. Oh, I love this one. Yeah. Colleen quilted this one, and she did a amazing job.
This is beautiful.
Yep. So the quilting pattern on this is Bountiful Feather.
Can barely see it, but it's there.
It's invisible,
Yeah.
which we love to do. And what is this? This looks like your fabric.
This is called Triangle Stars, or no, Twilight Stars. It's hard to keep them all straight. But what's fun about this is this was last year's quilt along. Did we run this? And then this year, starting in 2025, we have another quilt along of this caliper where you're going to be doing something each week. So we did 2 blocks each week or only one? So we did 2 blocks each week for over 100 blocks for the year. So we had 100 different blocks, I believe. But isn't it gorgeous? This is it's like, oh, heavy, man. I can barely hold on to it.
Yeah, this is.
But this is a great setting. Just putting the blocks all together like she did. She planned out some with dark backgrounds and some with light. Isn't that awesome? So even within our quilt alongs, we have some you can do whatever you want, right? You don't have to set things how I do. I give you some inspiration on how to set it if that's not your forte. But if you are creative and want to do your own thing, we welcome that. We love it when people take our things and just go with it and do theirs different. Even though the blocks are all the same, she just did a little bit different backgrounds on some of them. She did light backgrounds and dark backgrounds because she had a plan.
The quilting design that Colleen did was the Bountiful Feather. And what we love about Bountiful Feather is you want to have a couple different types of feathers. And the thing about the Bountiful Feather is there's no stem.
Right.
So sometimes when you're using like that 2370 taupe color and you're doing like, let's say, Words to Live By, and that's a really pretty color, you can do Abundant Feather, which is more of a stem and it looks really, really nice. But when you're using invisible thread, when you have that stem, which essentially the machine will go over multiple times, that sheen that we don't really like, that really shows up. And then the plasticky, and I don't want to say plasticky, but you know, like you don't
There's
really,
a bit of a shine to it.
Yeah. So
until it's washed.
So it's better to run a design that doesn't go back over itself a bunch of times if you're using invisible.
And I won't put any other feather on any of my quilts except for Bountiful, right? That's the one I like.
Yeah, well, and Abundant.
Abundant. No, Abundant is the one I like.
Abundant is the one that reminds me of like Linda Hirschka's feathers, the custom one.
Yeah, yes, that's the one I like.
Yes, it's really pretty, but it's got that stem. So sometimes if you're using that, it's okay. It's okay.
It's but
it's just
it's a good
something
one.
We consider.
Yeah. But if you're using cotton thread, it doesn't matter.
What do we have for questions here before we do the prize patrol? Because we got people to train and machines to ship out.
No, we're good. No, we didn't. We went through all the questions.
No questions?
Yep.
All right.
All right. You got 2. I got 1. I got Troy Kaler. I want to say it's a Kohler. All right. You are one of our winners of today, Troy. And you have?
I have Lisa McHugh.
There you go. And then one more.
You give me, and then Jan Donley.
All right. So those are our 3 winners. Please email Heidi at that address that was just up on the screen and give her your physical address so she can mail you your prize. We don't just automatically send them out. We don't know where you live because Lisa McHugh with a Q, that's not her real name, okay?
Might be.
I mean, it's part of her name maybe, but that's her, online name. So we don't know who you are.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. We have a lot of work, a lot of things going on here at Primitive Gathering. So for all of you with the BO8s, be patient. We're going to work through here starting after lunch, one by one. And, we want to keep this organized. So I know everyone's excited, but let us just work through this and we will be in touch with all of you. So we don't want 50 people calling me all at once. So we have an order. We're going to go in that order and we're going to try to stay organized so everyone can get the things that they want. So,
okay. And then just last but not least, I did switch everything over at the gathering to fall. So it's all decorated for fall.
Nice.
All the quilts have been changed because guess what? September 21st is the first day of fall. I like to keep summer in its place as long as I can. So now we are all dressed up for fall and ready for our busy season.
yes.
And, stitch season is what I call it.
Well, I'm enjoying the cooler weather. So I think some heat's coming back, but I enjoy the brisk morning. So, all right, everybody, that's our show this week. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. And thank you for tuning in.